We are getting closer to the transfer window's close, and so the rumours are notching up a little bit and heating up. Mark Ogden joining us now on ESPN FC to rate them. It's the transfer rater, and we will start with Kurt Zouma going back to Everton. What do you think, Mark?
Well, Everton need a centre-half, and I think Chelsea are looking to move players out. They're also looking to move on Antonio and Rudiger, so it could be Rudiger or Zouma that leaves Chelsea. But I think, obviously, the fact that Zouma has a bit of history with Everton, he played in the past, I think there's a good chance that this might happen before the deadline next week.
Because Leicester are said to want him too, so do you think that would help, as you just said, Everton's case, the fact that he already does have history there?
Yeah, and I think if Zouma looks at Leicester, you've got Johnny Evans, who had a fantastic season last year, and you got Sionchu again, who had a great season. He might wonder where he's going to play. I know Leicester sometimes operate with the back three, but I think if you're Zouma, you're thinking, if I go to Leicester, I'm already third choice centre half, because Evans and Sionchu are a great partnership. So I think if you go to Everton, you've got more chance of playing. So that for me would nudge it towards Everton. Big
news this week was that Kurt Zouma said that pineapple does not belong on a pizza. I have to agree with him. Where do you stand on it, Mark?
100%. That is just nailed on. There's not even any debate over that one. Let's move on to something that's a real debate. That isn't debate.
Absolutely. We can remain friends. Ismaila Sarr to Manchester United next. He's said to be the latest backup option if the Jadon Sancho deal doesn't go through.
Yeah, I mean, look, Man United and backup options, they've got a few backup options to Jadon Sancho. The first one was Gareth Bale, and they missed out on Bale. They've been looking at Kingsley Coman. They've been looking at Ismaila Sarr, as you said, Dembele at Barcelona, Perisic at Inter Milan. It just strikes you as the fact that Man United are getting to the point of the window where they're thinking, oops, we need a winger. Who's out there? It doesn't look like they've got a real plan. It just looks like a panic, that they're in a state of panic. And I think Ismaila Sarr had a great season at Watford last year. He scored that hat-trick against Liverpool, but the Man United want him. Was he really on their list at the start of the summer, or is it just something they're thinking, we've got a week to go, we need to get somebody in? So I would do okay, but I'm not sure he's what Man United need, whether he's the player that Man United actually want. It just doesn't strike me as very satisfactory, but I can see United being interested, but I don't think it'll happen.
Is it a problem we see too often when it comes to the closing days of this, where it's more out of desperation than planning, rather than waiting the extra, say, 6 to 12 months for Jadon Sancho, just panic buying?
It is with Man United, yeah, because they do seem to do this a lot quite in the window. I remember this time 12 months ago, certainly the last weeks of the summer window, when all of a sudden they were trying to sign Dybala and Christian Eriksen out of nothing. It was they suddenly want players that they hadn't been linked with all summer or they hadn't been pushing for. So, like I say, it doesn't strike you as a club that's organised in its transfer recruitment strategy. When you sign players late in the window, it does smack of panic. So, let the facts speak for themselves. Man United sign a lot of players late in windows. Why is that? Because they don't get the deals that they need to do done early enough.
There's another rumour that's doing the round about a player going to Manchester United, and it's Ousmane Dembele. Do you know anything about that?
Well, Dembele's a player that has been at Barca for a couple of years. He's not had a great time there. And I know that agents have offered him to United, which, Man United get offered a lot of players by agents, especially in the last week of the window when agents know they're desperate for players. So, Dembele has got pedigree. He's been at Dortmund, Barcelona. He's got a checkered fitness record. So if they're signing Dembele, then they have to be sure he's going to play. Yes, there is. Is there interest? They're certainly aware of him, put it that way. Whether there's interest, I think we'll have to wait and see. I think there's so much money involved in terms of the cost of it. But he's a top player, Dembele, if he stays fit. And that is the problem. He doesn't stay fit enough. So if I was Man United, I'd steer clear of Dembele, because you need somebody that you can rely on to play 40, 50 games a season. I don't think you can with him.
Next player is a player with nearly all the vowels, maybe all the vowels in his name, Houssem Aouar, going to Arsenal. Now, it looks as though Arsenal and Lyon are actually on the same page in that they both are ready to do this deal, but it seems to be a bit of a back and forth over the fee. What do you think?
Yeah, Arsenal, I think, have had a quietly good summer. They've brought in some good players. They've freshened the squad up a little bit, and they've addressed the key areas they need to address. I think Aouar is another player that will do that. And I think, as we know, Arsenal in the past have had great success with French players. They've always, certainly under Arsene Wenger, they were very much at the front of the queue in terms of the best French players. And I think French players look at Arsenal as a good destination. It's a club they know they can succeed at. So I think it'd be a good signing for Arsenal. I think Arsenal are interested. There seems to be an appetite on both sides to get the deal done. So I think that is one that could be done before the window closes.
And I was wrong. There's no I in Houssem Aouar, but all the rest of the vowels are in there. Lastly, Tariq Lamptey to Bayern. The Brighton right back has been impressing of late, so much so that the German giants are said to be looking at him.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a real sensation so far this season, and he's not been at Brighton long, has he? But he's shown himself to be, a really good player. Chelsea might regret letting him go when they did, but, Bayern, they've had some decent right backs over the years in terms of Philip Lahm and Kimmich, but yeah, I think it'd be an interesting move. I think Brighton would find it hard to let him go. Brighton won't need the money because Premier League would benefit from TV deals that enable them to keep hold of the best players. But if you're Tariq Lamptey and Bayern Munich come knocking on your door, it's hard to turn them down. Will it happen before next Monday? Surprised.
We'll see. The opening offer of 23 million was said to be way off, so maybe Brighton really can cash in here.
Yeah, I think Brighton will hold out for as long as they can. Look, the situation right now with the pandemic is that there's no fans coming in, and clubs are beginning to feel the pinch. They are struggling to balance the books, but Brighton aren't going to let players go on the cheap, especially one that's as highly rated as Tariq Lamptey, who could in a year's time be worth 40, 50 million. So for me, 23 million sounds very low. Unless Bayern are prepared to offer Robert Lewandowski or Thomas Muller in exchange, I don't see that one happening.
Well, a few more days to go and we'll know the answer to all of these questions.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.